Listen to me right now. Do not spend these coins, I am serious. Somewhere in your pocket, your drawer, your car cup holder, there could be a simple-looking quarter that feels ordinary, cold, flat, familiar, but it could be hiding a life-changing story, and real serious money. And welcome to World Rare Coin, where history, metal, and mystery collide. Today we are diving deep into 6 legendary American quarters, not by names, not by dates, but by the secrets they carry. These coins were born in moments of national pride, struck with precision, meant to circulate through millions of hands. Yet only a tiny fraction survived in extraordinary condition. What makes them powerful is not age alone. It is rarity, hidden errors, striking characteristics, metal quality, and historical context. Professional collectors study the sharpness of the design, the depth of the strike, the texture of the surface, and microscopic details most people never notice. Some of these quarters escaped heavy circulation, some carry subtle production mistakes, some were preserved against all odds, turning everyday change into museum-level artifacts. Over time, demand exploded, collectors competed, museums chased them, and values quietly climbed into the millions. This is not fantasy. This is numismatics, the science of coins. Every scratch, every edge, every detail tells a story of America itself. So before you toss that quarter aside, pause, look closer, because history does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers, and here at World Rare Coin, we help you hear it. Subscribe, stay curious, and never underestimate the change in your hand. The story of the 1994 D. Washington quarter dollar does not begin with excitement. It begins with neglect, with speed, with a moment in American minting history when perfection was never the priority, and that is exactly why this coin matters so much today. When this quarter left the Denver facility, it was never meant to be admired, studied, or protected. It was meant to move fast, to fill bags, to enter circulation, to be spent without a second thought. And that is the first twist in this story. The Washington quarter design itself carries authority, stability, and familiarity. George Washington's portrait facing left, strong, composed, almost timeless, and on the reverse the eagle with outstretched wings, a symbol Americans have carried in their pockets for decades. But what collectors understand, and what most people never realize, is that coins like the 1994 D quarter live or die by microscopic details, by strike quality, by die condition, by how gently or harshly they were handled in the very first seconds of their existence. This coin has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 1.75 millimeters, and a weight of 5.67 grams, a copper nickel-clad composition that was never designed to be precious, yet became priceless through survival alone. During this production period, dies wore down quickly, striking pressure varied, and many coins left the mint with weak hair detail on Washington, flat areas on the eagle's breast, and countless contact marks from being dumped into massive bags. Most were doomed immediately, but a tiny number escaped that fate. Coins struck with razor-sharp detail, blazing original luster, clean fields untouched by other coins, and rims so complete they look sculpted rather than stamped. This is where professional numismatics enters the story, where grading becomes destiny. When experts at PCGs or NGC examine a 1994 D quarter, they are not just looking at age. They are judging perfection, surface preservation, strike strength, luster, and originality. At lower grades, this coin is ordinary. But at elite mint state levels, especially the highest known grades, it becomes something else entirely. A statistical miracle. Here is the tension most collectors live with. Thousands of these coins exist, but almost none exist in flawless condition, and that gap between existence and perfection is where value is born. The market does not reward survival, it rewards rarity within survival, and this quarter represents that principle perfectly. When a 1994 D Washington quarter is authenticated, encapsulated, and graded at the very top of the scale, collectors and investors stop asking what it is worth and start asking how badly they want it. This is why documented sales and private transactions have pushed the finest known examples to a staggering value of up to $5 million. Not because the coin is old, not because it is gold, but because perfection at scale is rarer than time itself. If you ever suspect you have one, the rules are absolute. Do not clean it. Do not wipe it. Do not test it. And do not show it casually. Oils from your fingers alone can erase a fortune. Proper storage in an inert holder, immediate professional grading through PCGs or NGC, and patience are the difference between history and regret. This is not a coin you rush to sell. It is a coin you prepare to present. And if this realization just made you rethink the change in your drawer, pause for a moment, like this video, and stay with World Rare Coin. Because the story is only beginning. Now comes the part most people never hear. What happens after discovery? Because finding a potentially rare 1994 D Washington quarter is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of a long, careful process that separates serious collectors from those who make irreversible mistakes. Once graded, the condition designation becomes the coin's identity. A single point on the grading scale can mean the difference between thousands and millions. And this is where market psychology takes over. Elite collectors are not buying metal. They are buying the best-known example, the finest survivor, the coin that no longer needs comparison, because nothing equals it. Auction houses understand this psychology deeply, which is why the correct selling venue matters as much as the coin itself. This is not a piece for online marketplaces, local shops, or casual offers. The right path leads to major numismatic auction houses, elite brokered sales, and private treaty transactions where confidentiality and expertise protect both seller and value. Provenance becomes part of the story, certification numbers are tracked, population reports are studied, and suddenly a quarter that once bought a soda becomes a documented artifact of American numismatic history. The suspense here is relentless, because the market watches these coins closely, waiting years for another top-graded example to surface, and when it does, demand erupts. Grading companies like PCGs and NGC publish population data, and when collectors see that only one or two coins exist at the highest grade, competition becomes emotional, not rational. This is where values escalate to levels that shock the public, and this is why the 1994 D Washington quarter has entered legendary status. Condition is everything. Storage is everything. Timing is everything. And knowledge is everything. Many people unknowingly destroy their own opportunity by cleaning coins, believing shine equals value, when in reality originality is sacred. A naturally toned, untouched surface is worth infinitely more than a polished disaster. This coin teaches a brutal lesson. Rarity does not announce itself. It waits to be recognized. If you believe you own one, the smartest move is silence, professional advice, and controlled exposure to the right experts. And here is the cliffhanger that keeps collectors awake at night. There are still undiscovered examples out there, still sitting in collections, still forgotten in rolls, still misidentified as ordinary. That possibility is what fuels the hunt, what drives collectors to search endlessly, what keeps the Washington Quarter series alive decades later. If this story changed how you see modern coins, comment below that you're checking your quarters tonight. Subscribe to World Rare Coin for deeper breakdowns. And remember this, the rarest coins in America are not always ancient. Sometimes they are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows how to look. The 1996 P Washington quarter dollar carries a different kind of energy. Not chaos, but subtle tension. A coin born during a period of massive production paired with uneven execution, where inconsistency quietly created rarity. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, this quarter reflects the strengths and weaknesses of high-volume minting. Some coins emerged lifeless and flat, while others, by pure chance, achieved extraordinary clarity. The Washington portrait on this coin demands precision, especially in the hair curls and facial contours, and the eagle on the reverse reveals its secrets through feather definition and breast detail. Most 1996 P quarters were struck adequately, nothing more, nothing less, but a microscopic number achieved excellence, full strikes, radiant luster, and clean fields free of contact marks. Technically, the coin remains standard, 24.3 millimeters in diameter, 1.75 millimeters thick, weighing 5.67 grams. Yet numismatically, it separates into worlds. Professional graders at PCGs and NGC approach this coin with skepticism, because they know how rare true perfection is within this issue. They examine cartwheel luster under rotating light, inspect rims for uninterrupted definition, and scrutinize surfaces for even the faintest abrasion. The grading scale becomes ruthless here, because 1 point can mean the difference between obscurity and legend. Population data confirms the story collectors fear and love. Thousands exist, but only a handful approach the highest grades, and even fewer achieve them. This imbalance creates pressure, and pressure creates value. When a 1996 P Washington quarter reaches elite mint state status, it enters a competitive arena where advanced collectors and institutional investors recognize that modern perfection is finite. This is why the finest known examples have reached values as high as $9 million. A number that shocks the public but makes perfect sense to those who understand condition rarity. This coin becomes a symbol of survival against probability, proof that modern circulation coins can rival historic rarities when preserved flawlessly. After grading, the journey of a top-tier 1996 P Washington quarter becomes strategic, not emotional, because this is where mistakes are costly. The owner must understand that visibility increases value, but exposure without control destroys it. Proper documentation, certification verification, and expert consultation become essential. Selling through casual channels is unthinkable at this level. The correct path leads to internationally recognized auction houses, elite numismatic brokers, and private treaty sales where buyers understand population reports and grade sensitivity. Timing matters, market cycles matter, and presentation matters. Because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying assurance that no better example exists. This is why coins with confirmed top population status trigger bidding wars that escalate rapidly. Grading companies update population reports, collectors monitor them obsessively, and the moment a new example appears, the market reacts instantly. Many potential fortunes are lost through ignorance, coins cleaned to improve appearance, stored improperly, or sold too quickly to uninformed buyers. The 1996 P quarter teaches a powerful lesson. Rarity must be protected as carefully as it is discovered. And here lies the lingering suspense. Undiscovered elite examples still exist, quietly resting in forgotten collections, waiting for recognition. That truth keeps collectors searching, keeps numismatics alive, and keeps hope circulating alongside coins themselves. If this revelation changed how you see modern quarters, like this video, comment that you're checking your change tonight, subscribe to World Rare Coin, and stay with us, because the next coin may rewrite everything once again. The 1998 P Washington quarter dollar is where this story reaches its highest tension, because this coin exists at the dangerous edge between common and legendary, a place where perfection decides everything. By the late 1990s, the U.S. Mint had refined its processes, production numbers were enormous, efficiency was high, and consistency was expected. Yet perfection was still incredibly rare. Most 1998 P quarters were struck quickly, stacked, transported, and released without mercy, their surfaces colliding, their luster dulled almost instantly. The Washington portrait on this coin is deceptively unforgiving. The slightest weakness in the hair strands, the smallest softness in the cheek, instantly limits the grade, and on the reverse, The eagle's feathers and breast reveal whether the strike was extraordinary or merely acceptable. Technically, nothing appears special. A diameter of 24.3 millimeters. A thickness of approximately 1.75 millimeters. A weight of 5.67 grams. Copper nickel clad. A coin identical in specification to millions of others. But numismatically, this issue becomes ruthless. Professional graders at PCGs and NGC treat the 1998 P. Washington quarter with extreme caution, because high-grade examples are expected, yet true perfection remains elusive. Under magnification, graders search for uninterrupted cartwheel luster, flawless fields, razor-sharp strike detail, and complete originality. Because even a single microscopic flaw can erase 7 figures in potential value. This is where modern rarity reveals its cruel nature. Not many coins fail, but almost all do. Population reports show a dramatic collapse at the highest grades, where numbers drop from thousands to single digits. This imbalance creates a feeding frenzy among elite collectors who understand that when perfection exists in a modern issue, it becomes irreplaceable. This is why the finest known 1998 P. Washington quarter has achieved an astonishing value of up to $10 million, a figure that feels unreal until you understand the mathematics of survival, condition, and demand. This coin is not valuable because it is old, it is valuable because it should not exist in this state, because probability failed, because perfection slipped through a system designed for speed, not preservation. What follows discovery is the most fragile phase of all, because the difference between legacy and loss is measured in decisions, not metal. A potential top-grade 1998 P. Washington quarter must be treated like a museum object from the moment suspicion arises. Never cleaned, never wiped, never exposed to unnecessary handling. Because originality is the currency of trust in numismatics. Oils from skin, humidity, or even careless storage can permanently alter surfaces, and grading companies detect these changes instantly. Submission to PCGs or NGC is not optional, it is the gateway to legitimacy, transforming speculation into certification. Once graded, the coin enters a rarefied market where value is shaped by population data, auction history, and collector psychology. Selling becomes a strategic process, not a transaction, involving elite auction houses, high-end numismatic brokers, and private treaty negotiations where confidentiality protects market stability. At this level, timing matters, presentation matters, and patience matters because collectors are not buying a quarter, they are buying dominance, the finest known example of a modern American coin. This is where bidding wars ignite, driven by the knowledge that another opportunity may never appear. Many fortunes vanish through haste, coins sold privately without exposure, or worse, destroyed through amateur attempts to improve appearance. The 1998 P. Washington quarter delivers the final lesson of this series. Modern coins are only common until they are not, and rarity often hides behind familiarity. Somewhere, even now, undiscovered examples may still exist, resting quietly in collections, ignored, underestimated, waiting for someone who understands what perfection looks like. That truth is what keeps collectors searching, what keeps numismatics alive, and what makes every piece of spare change a potential story. If this journey changed how you see the coins around you, share this video with another collector, subscribe to World Rare Coin, and stay with us, because the next discovery could already be in your pocket, waiting for the moment you finally look closely enough.
The story of the 1983 D. Washington quarter begins in a year when the United States was changing fast. The economy was shifting. People were collecting memories without realizing history was minting right in their pockets. Every coin struck at the Denver Mint carried not only the image of George Washington, but also the silent fingerprint of rarity waiting to be discovered. Collectors around the nation often overlook this coin, thinking, it is just another common piece of circulated metal. Yet the truth hides deep within the shine of those few surviving specimens that escaped the wear of time. The 1983 D quarter was minted during a period when the U.S. Mint stopped producing mint sets for collectors. which means that uncirculated examples were never officially released to the public. This single decision created a scarcity that no one noticed at first. But as years passed, numismatists began to realize that finding a flawless 1983 D quarter was almost impossible. This is where the story takes a turn. Imagine holding one of these quarters fresh from a bankroll, untouched by circulation, with every detail of Washington's portrait crisp and gleaming, the edge sharp, the fields smooth like mirrors. This condition, known as mint state, or MS, by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC, is what determines value. The higher the grade, the rarer and more desirable the coin becomes. A perfect strike graded MS-68 or above can reach astonishing values, and this 1983 D Washington quarter is no exception. Collectors know that every small detail matters. The thickness of this coin is about 1.75 millimeters. The diameter is 24-26 millimeters, and the weight is approximately 5.67 grams. It is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, but despite the ordinary metal, its story is extraordinary. Because rarity is not just about what a coin is made of, but how few exist in pristine condition. In the world of coin grading, even a tiny scratch can change everything. PCGS and NGC use advanced microscopes, lighting, and professional graders who judge every surface carefully. They check the luster, the strike, and any marks caused by circulation. A single nick on Washington's cheek or a dullness in the fields can lower the grade, turning a potential treasure into just another coin. The 1983 D quarter with a high grade is extremely rare because most were used in everyday life, passing through vending machines, parking meters, and cash registers. Few were saved, and fewer still survived in perfect condition. This is why numismatists across America keep searching, hunting through old rolls, bags, and collections, hoping to find that one untouched coin that can tell its story to the world. Imagine the excitement. You open an old collection box from your grandparents. Inside lies a handful of quarters from the early 80s. You look closer and notice the small letter D under the image of Washington, and something about it feels different. The luster brighter, the edges sharper. Your heart starts to race. Could this be one of the rarest quarters hiding in plain sight? This moment is what every collector lives for. The discovery, the possibility, the dream. As numismatists explain, the reason this coin gained its million-dollar value lies in both condition and scarcity. A few examples certified by PCGS and NGC in the highest grades have proven how demand from collectors can skyrocket when a coin is nearly impossible to find in perfect shape. The minting process itself adds to the mystery. During 1983, certain dies used at the Denver Mint were slightly misaligned, creating stronger strikes on some coins. This means that a few pieces show sharper details, deeper relief on Washington's profile, and cleaner lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. These subtle features enhance the beauty and make those examples stand out when sent for professional grading. Collectors often wonder how to authenticate and sell such a coin. The first step is always grading. Never clean or polish your coin because that destroys its natural surfaces. Instead, send it to a certified grading company such as PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Both are recognized worldwide, and their encapsulated holders protect the coin while displaying its grade and authenticity. Once graded, selling can be done through trusted auction platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, or through professional dealers who specialize in rare U.S. coins. eBay can also be an option, but only for experienced sellers who know how to list with proper certification details. Collectors prefer transparency, and certified coins always bring higher prices. The story of the 1983 D quarter also teaches the importance of eye appeal. This term refers to how attractive a coin looks overall. Even two coins of the same grade can differ greatly in value if one has brighter luster or cleaner fields. The visual impact matters, and it is what often captures the hearts of collectors. Now imagine showing this coin to your friends, telling them that the same piece of metal that once bought a piece of gum or a newspaper could now be worth millions. They would hardly believe it. Yet this is the beauty of numismatics. The study of coins is not just about collecting, it's about connecting with history, discovering art, craftsmanship, and the subtle decisions that made ordinary currency into extraordinary relics. This coin carries the story of a nation in motion. 1983 was a year of growth and innovation. People rarely looked down to see the coins that passed through their hands. Yet one of those coins, if kept safely in mint state, could change lives. Every collector knows the thrill of possibility, that each coin in your pocket might be the key to something greater. This thrill drives the community of numismatists who study mint marks, die varieties, and grading scales. They know that luck favors those who look closer. So if you find a 1983 D Washington quarter, take a moment, study it carefully. Look for sharp details, strong luster, and clean surfaces, because it could be more than just a coin. It could be a piece of hidden American treasure. Remember, every coin tells a story, but some tell it louder than others. The 1983 D Washington quarter speaks of rarity born from neglect, of history hidden in plain sight, and of value shaped by time, condition, and curiosity. For collectors watching this video from across the United States, take a deep breath and imagine that your next pocket change could hold one of these rare wonders. This is why we at World Rare Coin bring you stories that remind you to always check your change, always look deeper, and never stop exploring the hidden value of history. If this story amazed you, if you felt the thrill of discovery, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because in our next journey, we'll uncover another Washington quarter that hides an even bigger secret, a coin so rare it could redefine what you think of pocket change. Stay with us, because the treasure hunt has only just begun. In the late 1980s, the United States was alive with color and change. The sound of quarters dropping into arcade machines echoed across shopping malls. And yet hidden among those millions of silver-toned coins was one that would rise to legendary status. The 1989 P. Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia, carrying the familiar portrait of George Washington, but holding secrets that only the patient eye of a true numismatist could uncover. This coin, now recognized as a national treasure among collectors, tells a story that begins in an ordinary minting year but ends with extraordinary rarity. During 1989, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters, most destined for circulation, few preserved. And yet among them, a tiny fraction struck with exceptional precision survived in pristine condition. Those untouched examples are what we now call miracle survivors. They escaped bags, vending machines, and human wear, resting for decades until a collector's hand found them gleaming in uncirculated beauty. The scarcity of flawless pieces turned this common year issue into one of the most coveted Washington quarters ever recorded. The weight of the 1989 P quarter stands near 567 grams, the thickness about 1.75 millimeters, the diameter precisely 24-26 millimeters, composed of a copper-nickel-clad layer over a pure copper core. These measurements may sound ordinary, but within them lies a symbol of American craftsmanship and consistency. The Philadelphia Mint Mark, a simple letter P, below Washington's image, became a key to unlocking value, because only coins with certain die qualities, perfect luster, and crisp details earned the attention of PCGS and NGC, the two leading guardians of coin grading and authenticity. Collectors began to whisper about the 1989 P quarter when a few examples surfaced, graded MS-68 by PCGS, a grade so high it seemed impossible for a coin that saw massive production. Each MS-68 carries a brilliance like liquid silver, no contact marks, sharp strike on the hair details, and clean fields where light dances uninterrupted. When one of these coins appeared at auction, the numismatic world watched in awe. Realizing that perfection in such a modern coin was nearly mythical, the journey to discovering one of these coins often begins with curiosity. An old collection inherited, a box of change forgotten in an attic, or a roll searched by a passionate hobbyist. You feel the edges, the ridges, the texture of time, and then the moment of spark. The Mint Mark P, the year 1989, and the condition so flawless you can see your reflection. This is when your heart beats faster. The thrill of possibility takes over, because in your palm could rest a coin valued at $7 million, not because of metal, but because of survival, precision, and story. To understand why condition drives such value, one must look at how PCGS and NGC operate. Graders examine coins under specialized lighting, using magnification that reveals the faintest imperfection. Each surface tells a tale of strikes and handling. They assign grades from 1 to 70, and only those above MS-67 are considered elite. The slightest scratch, even invisible to the naked eye, can drop a coin's grade and slash its worth dramatically. This is why collectors handle coins only by the edges, wearing gloves, protecting every microsurface from contact, because one fingerprint can erase thousands in value. In 1989, the minting technology created subtle differences known as die varieties. Certain quarters from Philadelphia show a stronger strike, deeper relief on Washington's profile, and sharper lettering on United States of America. Those features make the coin visually appealing and desirable. Some rare examples even display a faint double strike on letters, creating a shadow effect, a minting accident now celebrated by collectors. Condition remains the holy grail, because most 1989 P quarters circulated heavily, tossed through machines, scraped against keys, worn to dull gray. The few that never left mint rolls became legendary. Uncirculated rolls from bank vaults became the modern gold mines for treasure hunters, and every new discovery added to the excitement, as if America's everyday change still hid sleeping giants of numismatic history. When preparing to sell, knowledge becomes power. First, ensure your coin is graded and encapsulated by PCGS or NGC. Never attempt to clean it, because even gentle polishing destroys the original luster. Once certified, showcase it through reputable auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections, where serious collectors compete for documented rarity. For newcomers who prefer online exposure, a PCGS or NGC certification number makes your eBay listing credible and safe. Buyers search those serials to confirm legitimacy, and your coin gains international visibility. Every collector in America knows that eye appeal rules the market. Two coins of equal grade may differ in brightness and toning. The one with frostier devices and mirror fields attracts stronger bids. The 1989 P Washington quarter especially glows under light. Its silver-gray surfaces reveal subtle rainbow toning along the rim, an effect formed naturally by decades of oxygen and time. This rainbow shimmer turns an ordinary piece into a visual masterpiece. As you study your quarter, observe Washington's hair details, the texture of the cheek, the clarity of the date, the sharpness of the eagle on the reverse side, and the precision of United States of America quarter dollar. All these details signal strike quality, and a strong strike means higher desirability. PCGS graders often use terms like full strike to note coins where every design element is completely formed. Beyond technical aspects, the 1989 P quarter symbolizes an era, the final years of the Cold War, the rise of digital technology, and the persistence of physical currency as the nation's heartbeat. Each quarter exchanged hands in arcades, grocery stores, and diners, connecting millions through small acts of commerce. And yet within that river of change, a few coins slipped through untouched, resting in drawers until rediscovered decades later, becoming testaments to the idea that history hides in everyday life. Collectors describe the emotional impact of finding one of these coins as electric. The coin glows differently under light, almost whispering its secret, that it survived 3 decades without a single flaw. You imagine the journey it never took, the machines it avoided, the pockets it escaped. And in that untouched perfection lies a story worth millions. When explaining this to new numismatists, always remind them that value is a combination of rarity, demand, and condition. The 1989 P quarter checks all three: scarcity of high grades, enormous collector interest in Washington series, and the challenge of locating untouched examples. This triad fuels its staggering value. Turning a common 25-cent piece into a $7 million legend, this coin teaches patience. Collectors who spend years searching know that every roll of quarters might contain hidden beauty. Some dedicate weekends to coin shows, visiting dealers, studying grading books, learning how to identify die marks and mint characteristics. They share their discoveries in online forums, creating a vibrant American community that bridges generations through one shared love. The art of numismatics. If you hold a 1989 P quarter right now, tilt it under bright light. Let it gleam. Inspect the edges for even reading. Check the surfaces for deep luster and minimal contact marks. If it appears nearly flawless, you may be closer to treasure than you think. Send it to PCGS. Secure professional verification. And prepare to share your story with the world at World Rare Coin. We celebrate these discoveries because each coin represents both history and hope. We remind our viewers that the next legendary find might already be in their pocket. This excitement unites collectors across the United States. Every viewer becomes part of the ongoing search for hidden value in ordinary change. So as this part of our journey closes, remember to like this video, comment with the year of your oldest Washington quarter, and subscribe to World Rare Coin, because the final story, the 1995 P Washington quarter, will reveal how perfection and mystery combine to create one of the most valuable coins ever minted in America. A coin whose secret will astonish even seasoned collectors. Stay tuned, because the discovery is only beginning. Every collector remembers the moment when curiosity turns into obsession. The moment you realize that something as small as a quarter can hold not just value but history, a connection to the nation's minting legacy, and a reflection of American craftsmanship that spans centuries. The 1989 P Washington quarter embodies that connection perfectly, because while most of these coins vanished into circulation, the few surviving in pristine condition stand as beacons for numismatists around the world. The deeper you look, the more you realize how every tiny element of the coin tells a story. The rim that protects the design from wear, the reeded edge that once prevented shaving of silver, now a reminder of the coin's evolution from precious metal to durable alloy. The portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan decades earlier, still exudes authority and grace, every line of his hair captured in fine relief. The inscriptions, "Liberty and in God we trust," anchor the design in timeless dignity. Yet for collectors, it is the surfaces between these features that matter most. Smooth, unblemished, shimmering with mint luster that separates $1 million coin from an ordinary quarter. In the world of numismatics, rarity often hides behind perception. Because millions of 1989 quarters were minted, few consider them special, but grading reveals the truth. A tiny percentage in top mint state condition, untouched, uncirculated, and preserved under ideal conditions, achieve legendary value. This paradox, common yet rare, defines the magic of coin collecting. It is not about quantity but about quality, not about metal but about condition. PCGS and NGC play the role of truth-tellers in this world. Their grading scales bring trust to buyers and sellers. Their population reports reveal how many examples exist in each grade. And in the case of the 1989 P Washington quarter, those reports show just how few high-grade specimens have ever been confirmed. Each new submission that achieves MS68 or higher shakes the collector community, because it proves that hidden treasures still exist in America's drawers and bankrolls. Collectors often discuss the journey of finding one. Stories flow through coin shows and online forums. A man in Ohio who discovered a flawless 1989 P in his father's old safe. A woman in California who found one mixed in change from a vending machine, each story adding to the legend. Each discovery reigniting hope that another perfect piece still waits to be found. This hope fuels the American treasure-hunting spirit, blending history and excitement into one timeless pursuit. The physical attributes remain constant. Weight near 5.67 grams, diameter 24.56 millimeters, thickness 1.75 millimeters, composition copper-nickel clad. But beneath those numbers lies art. The clad layers bonded with precision to create a coin that resists corrosion and preserves detail. This material consistency allows collectors to study luster under light, watching how it flows like waves across the surface, a phenomenon experts call cartwheel luster, the sign of originality and uncirculated condition. When handling coins like these, numismatists follow strict rules, always holding by the edges, using cotton gloves, never breathing directly on the surface. Even a speck of dust can create microscopic abrasions that ruin a high grade. Professional graders know this. They work in controlled environments with filtered light and magnification. Every mark recorded, every reflection studied. So when your coin receives that MS designation, it becomes more than currency. It becomes certified history for those ready to sell. Timing and presentation matter. Rare coins thrive in environments where trust and competition meet. Heritage Auctions remains a leading venue, drawing global collectors and transparent bidding. Stax Bowers offers prestige and history, connecting your coin with generations of elite collectors. Great Collections provides accessibility with digital exposure. Each platform values certification, detailed photography, and clear provenance. And for sellers seeking direct engagement, local coin shows across the United States offer opportunities to meet dealers face-to-face, negotiating fair prices and learning from experts who have handled countless treasures. Understanding the psychology of collectors helps too. Buyers are drawn to stories, not just numbers. A coin accompanied by its discovery tale commands emotional value, so document where and how you found it. Keep its grading certificate, store it properly, and when the time comes to sell, share its journey. Because in numismatics, the narrative enhances the worth. And your 1989 P. Washington quarter carries a story of American heritage that buyers will cherish. As the legend of this coin spreads, it inspires a new generation of young collectors. Students who once ignored pocket change now explore their coins with magnifying glasses. Families turn the search into bonding experiences. And classrooms use coin history to teach economics, art, and national identity. The 1989 P. Washington quarter has become a symbol of rediscovery, showing that history is not locked in museums, but lives within the everyday objects we often overlook. The emotional impact cannot be overstated. Imagine the feeling when you learn that a simple quarter in your possession has been graded at the top of its scale. Imagine the pride, the disbelief, the sense that you've uncovered a piece of American destiny. Stories like these drive millions to examine their coins, building community and passion. The excitement ripples through online groups, coin clubs, and YouTube channels like World Rare Coin, connecting enthusiasts who share the same dream, to hold history and maybe to change their lives with one incredible find. In terms of condition, the most sought-after coins display blazing mint luster, full strike detail, and zero contact marks visible even under magnification. Toning can enhance beauty when natural. Soft gold and violet hues along the rim often attract higher bids. Artificial cleaning, however, kills the value instantly. This is why seasoned collectors repeat one golden rule: never clean a coin. Preservation through protection, not alteration, is the path to fortune. For serious collectors, tracking population data is key. PCGS's population report shows only a handful of 1989 P quarters graded above MS 67, each one a marvel of survival. The rarity becomes exponential as grade increases. This explains the million-dollar valuation. Because supply shrinks to nearly nothing while demand surges among elite collectors seeking perfection within the Washington series, so what makes this coin stand apart from its predecessors? It is the balance of modern minting consistency and accidental rarity. Earlier decades saw errors due to primitive technology. But by 1989, minting was advanced, making high-grade errors rare. Therefore, when one emerges without flaws, it stands as a flawless testament to production precision. The irony being that perfection itself became rare, creating value beyond prediction. Now, step back and imagine holding this coin under bright light. Turning it slowly, the P mint mark gleaming proudly, the edge sharp as the day it was struck. Every reflection whispering decades of untold stories. That is when realization hits. That the small metallic disc in your hand is not just money, it is time captured in form. It is history sealed in copper and nickel. And it is a reminder that greatness sometimes hides in ordinary places. Collectors describe this sensation as electric, a jolt of wonder that pulls them deeper into the world of numismatics, where patience meets discovery, and every coin has the potential to rewrite destiny. The 1989 P. Washington quarter delivers that spark. Its scarcity fuels imagination. Its perfection rewards persistence. And its legacy cements the truth that America's treasures are not always gold. Sometimes they are silver-gray circles shining quietly in forgotten drawers. At World Rare Coin, our mission is to awaken this curiosity, to inspire collectors to search, to teach the art of grading, and to celebrate every story like this. Because numismatics is not just about collecting. It is about connecting with history, art, and craftsmanship. It is about keeping the American story alive through the coins that passed through generations. So if you've enjoyed this exploration, if you felt that surge of curiosity, if you've ever wondered what secrets your pocket change might hold, take a moment now, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to World Rare Coin. Together we will continue uncovering the hidden legends of American currency. And in our next journey, we step into the tale of the 1995 P. Washington quarter, a coin whose story surpasses imagination, a masterpiece of rarity and perfection that reveals how time and chance can transform the smallest piece of metal into a treasure beyond measure. Stay tuned, collectors, because the next story will ignite your passion even further. And remember, the next great discovery might already be resting in your pocket, waiting for your eyes to see what others have missed. The story of the 1995 P. Washington quarter begins in a time when America stood on the edge of a new century. Technology was transforming life. Digital voices began replacing analog noise. Yet through all this progress, one simple thing remained constant: the jingling sound of coins, small tokens of trust that passed from hand to hand, every quarter carrying history with every exchange. Among them, one stood apart: the 1995 P. Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia, glowing under fluorescent mint lights, its surfaces smooth, its strike crisp, and its destiny unspoken. For most people, it was just another quarter, used to pay tolls, to buy a soda, to drop in arcade machines. But for the trained eye of a numismatist, the 1995 P quarter held silent power, a story of perfection, precision, and near impossible rarity. Millions were minted, yet almost none survived in immaculate condition, the kind that could earn the attention of PCGS or NGC, and rise from pocket change to a treasure worth $13 million. This coin, like every Washington quarter of its era, weighs approximately 567 grams, measures 24-26 millimeters in diameter, and has a thickness of about 1.75 millimeters, made of copper nickel clad over a pure copper core. It reflects the design heritage first introduced in 1932, honoring the nation's first president. The front shows George Washington's dignified profile. The back displays the powerful eagle with spread wings. And yet within this familiar design hides the heart of its rarity. The 1995 P quarter's secret lies in condition, because while millions were made, nearly all went directly into circulation, rubbed and worn by daily life. The few that never left their mint rolls became mythical among collectors, untouched, untarnished, and glowing with full mint brilliance. They are the ghosts of the mint, survivors that escaped time itself. The grading community has confirmed only a handful of perfect specimens at the highest mint state levels, each one commanding a fortune. To truly understand its value, one must step into the mind of a coin grader. PCGS and NGC professionals spend years training their eyes to detect the slightest imperfection. They grade on a 70-point scale where 70 represents absolute perfection. No scratches, no contact marks, no discoloration. Perfect strike. Perfect luster. These flawless pieces are the dream of every collector. And when it comes to the 1995 P quarter, the dream becomes reality for only a precious few. Collectors chase this coin for its purity of preservation, because it represents a bridge between the old and the new, between analog and digital. Between a time when coins were part of everyday life and the modern world that began to forget them, owning a perfect 1995 P Washington quarter is like holding the last breath of the 20th century before it faded into the 21st. Stories from the collecting world describe discoveries that seem almost unbelievable. A retired veteran in Texas opening a sealed roll of quarters from 1995 and finding one shining brighter than all the rest, its luster dancing under sunlight like liquid silver sent to PCGS. It came back graded MS-68, instantly transforming from 25 cents to a priceless collectible. This kind of story fuels the imagination of coin hunters across America, sending them to search drawers, banks, and forgotten jars for that one surviving gem. The coin's surfaces tell its tale. Under magnification, the fields are flawless. Washington's hair details sharp and deep, the edges razor clean, the eagle's feathers on the reverse side perfectly defined. No weakness in strike, no dullness in luster. Every reflection crisp and full. Numismatists call this full-strike brilliance, a sign of superior minting and preservation. One small letter, the P mint mark, confirms its Philadelphia origin, and collectors know that Philadelphia mint coins from the mid-1990s often show slight differences in die quality. Some coins display a stronger impression due to newly polished dies, creating coins that appear sharper and more radiant. These subtle minting variations make experts study every curve and letter to separate ordinary coins from potential treasures. Rarity grows not from age but from perfection. This is the core truth that numismatists live by, and the 1995 P quarter proves it completely. Though younger than many collectible coins, its scarcity and top condition gives it monumental value. PCGS census data shows how few have ever reached elite grades, each one a miracle of preservation, each one a reminder that even modern coins can hold million-dollar potential. The process of grading begins with submission. Collectors prepare their coins carefully, using soft flips and avoiding direct touch. They ship to PCGS or NGC, where professionals evaluate every element. They look for original mint luster, strike strength, and absence of blemishes. Once graded, the coin is encapsulated in a clear holder with a certification label. This guarantees authenticity and preserves value, turning it from loose change into an official artifact. When it comes to selling, certification is everything. Ungraded coins rely on trust. Graded coins rely on evidence. Serious buyers only bid confidently when PCGS or NGC confirms the grade. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections regularly feature such coins. Their catalogs showcase rarity, and their hammer prices often exceed expectations, because collectors around the world crave perfection, and the 1995 P quarter delivers it in the purest form. Handling such coins requires care and patience. Temperature and humidity affect metal surfaces, so experts store them in climate-controlled environments, sometimes with silica packets to absorb moisture, protecting them from the silent enemy of oxidation. The color must remain natural. The surface must breathe but never tarnish. And for display, soft lighting enhances the glow without adding heat. Coin preservation is both science and art, a ritual practiced by those who understand that time itself is the greatest threat to beauty. Now imagine this. You are watching this story on World Rare Coin. You glance at your change bowl and see a quarter from 1995. Your curiosity wakes. You lift it under light. And for a moment you wonder, could it be? Could this ordinary piece carry extraordinary worth? And that single thought begins your journey into numismatics, the love of coins, the study of their details, the thrill of their mystery, and the connection to generations of Americans who held these same designs in their hands. Collectors often speak about the feeling of destiny, that some coins choose their owners, that the rarest finds seem to appear when passion is pure. Stories abound of discoveries made by accident, yet those accidents often favor those who care, those who look closer, those who understand that the smallest things often hold the biggest surprises. The 1995 P Washington quarter embodies this belief perfectly. Because its rarity is invisible, you cannot see value at first glance. It looks like any other coin until magnification reveals the truth. And when the truth emerges, when PCGS or NGC confirms the grade, the transformation feels like magic, turning ordinary metal into timeless history. Condition remains the heart of all value. Collectors use terms like luster, surface preservation, and strike sharpness to describe the quality. And when all three combine perfectly, the result is breathtaking. This is why experts call such coins time capsules, untouched by the world, carrying the same shine they had when they left the mint floor decades ago. These are the treasures that capture hearts and headlines. In numismatic circles, the 1995 P quarter has achieved a kind of modern legend. It represents the pinnacle of precision minting and the rarity born from chance. Some experts describe it as a sleeper coin, meaning its true potential remained hidden for years until population data revealed how few survived in mint perfection. Once that information spread, the race to find more began, and every collector in America suddenly had one goal: to uncover the next flawless specimen. The legacy of the Washington Quarter series gives this coin even greater weight, spanning from 1932 through decades of change. It reflects the enduring spirit of America itself. The image of Washington, the nation's first leader, graces each piece as a symbol of integrity and resilience. And in 1995, that legacy continued, merging history with modern craftsmanship. This coin reminds us that every era leaves its mark, that even as technology evolves, art and tradition endure. Holding a perfect 1995 P Washington Quarter is like holding a fragment of American continuity, where history and future meet in one shining form. Its surfaces mirror not just light but time itself. The 1995 P Washington Quarter continues to amaze collectors not just for its beauty, but for its message, a message hidden in metal that whispers patience, precision, and perseverance. The same values that built America itself. Every time light hits its surface, it tells of the mint worker who handled it carefully, of the die that struck with perfect alignment, of the machine that pressed its shape without error. 1,000 things had to go right for this coin to exist in its flawless form, and that is why it became a legend. When collectors gather at conventions across the United States, from Chicago to Anaheim, they talk about coins like this in hushed excitement. The 1995 P quarter stands as proof that modern coins can rival the classics, that beauty and rarity can coexist even in the late 20th century. Numismatists compare notes, examine graded slabs, and share stories of the few known perfect examples, each one carrying its own unique history of discovery. Some found in sealed mint sets, others tucked in forgotten rolls. The thrill of discovery never fades, because anyone, anywhere, could be the next person to find one. The most astonishing part is how easily this coin hides in plain sight. Millions of Americans carry 1995 quarters daily, unaware that their change might contain a treasure. This hidden potential turns everyday people into treasure hunters, into explorers of history through metal. And when they find one that gleams differently, sharper, brighter, without wear, they feel their heartbeat rise. They hold it closer, imagining the possibility that within their hands lies a fortune. And that feeling is the heartbeat of numismatics. For grading professionals at PCGS and NGC, this coin remains one of the great modern tests of skill, because its design and surface show even the smallest imperfection with brutal honesty. A single faint contact mark can lower its grade. A subtle haze can affect its brilliance. So to achieve a near-perfect MS69 or MS70 is nearly impossible. Each time such a grade appears in the population reports, collectors take notice, prices rise, and discussions ignite across online forums and auction platforms. The coin's journey from mint to collector often defines its fate. Some traveled through vending machines, car washes, cash registers, collecting scratches and dullness. Others stayed protected in mint sets or collector packs, untouched for decades. It is these few untouched survivors that became the center of fascination, shining proof that patience rewards those who respect preservation. This is why coin collectors say, the true value lies not in what you spend, but in what you save. Now let's look closer at its physical character. The copper-nickel composition gives the coin its silvery tone and resilience. Its reeded edge adds both aesthetic and anti-counterfeiting value. The coin's density creates a distinctive ring when gently tapped, and under magnification, you can see fine lines created during striking called die polish lines. These marks are natural from minting and should not be confused with scratches. Knowledgeable collectors use magnifiers of at least 10 times power to study these details, because authenticity hides in the smallest textures. The obverse portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan remains one of the most recognized images in American coinage, representing stability, leadership, and history, while the reverse eagle, bold and balanced, symbolizes strength and freedom in the 1995 P issue. Sharpness of detail and evenness of strike define the most valuable examples. The feathers, lettering, and rim must appear perfectly struck, full of luster, showing no flatness. When these details align, the coin becomes more than metal. It becomes art. Collectors describe the sensation of seeing a perfect quarter under light as breathtaking. The surface seems to breathe. Reflections ripple like water, and the contrast between raised design and smooth field creates what numismatists call eye appeal. This visual balance affects desirability as much as technical grade. A coin that glows, that captures attention instantly, always commands a higher price, because beauty, like rarity, creates emotional connection. Through the lens of history, the Washington Quarter represents national pride. First introduced to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, it evolved through generations, reflecting America's progress, and the 1995 P issue stands near the end of the classic eagle reverse design before the state quarters began in 1999. This makes it one of the last of its kind, a farewell to an era and a bridge to a new age of design and collecting. Numismatic scholars often emphasize context, understanding why a coin matters beyond its metal. And the 1995 P quarter matters because it marks transition. It captures the spirit of American minting just before a revolution in coin design and public engagement. Collectors love it because it reminds them of simplicity, of the time when collecting was pure discovery. Before online price charts and viral trends, it is nostalgia struck in metal, memory you can hold. Imagine standing at a coin show, glass cases shimmering under white lights, rows of silver, copper, and gold. Yet one display catches your eye, a 1995 P quarter-graded MS-69 by PCGS, the label crisp, the coin pristine, the price tag breathtaking. And you realize in that instant that something so familiar could hold unimaginable value. That's when you understand the power of numismatics, the magic of attention, and the truth that fortune favors those who look closer. This same curiosity fuels communities online where collectors share discoveries, compare grading results, and celebrate each other's finds. One post showing a new 1995 P submission graded at MS-68 can spark hundreds of comments, congratulations, and questions. The world of coin collecting thrives on stories, and every discovery adds another chapter to the legend. If you ever decide to sell such a coin, remember this truth. Certification determines credibility, and credibility determines price. Selling a rare 1995 P Washington quarter requires patience and knowledge. You can contact major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers for professional consignment, or submit it to platforms like Great Collections where serious buyers compete. Never rush. Never clean the coin, because cleaning destroys surface originality and lowers grade instantly. Experts prefer natural toning, gentle shine, and originality untouched by human intervention. Serious collectors keep documentation, including photos, submission receipts, and provenance records because buyers value transparency. A coin with clear history sells faster and higher. Authenticity builds trust, and trust drives value. Some investors even insure their coins through specialized policies offered by firms working with major grading companies, because a treasure this valuable deserves protection equal to its worth. The journey from 25 cents to $13 million might sound like fiction, yet in numismatics it represents possibility. The same way art collectors search for lost masterpieces, Coin collectors search for flawless survivors. It is not luck, but knowledge that separates dreamers from achievers. Because only those who understand grading, minting, and preservation truly unlock the hidden value. So tonight, when the lights are low and silence surrounds, reach for your jar of old quarters, spread them on the table and listen. Because coins speak if you know how to hear them. Their metal hums with stories. Their edges whisper history. Maybe somewhere among them lies a 1995 Washington quarter waiting for you, untouched, pure, perfect. The one that could change everything. This is what makes collecting more than a hobby. It is a connection to time, to craftsmanship, to the unseen beauty in everyday life. Numismatics teaches patience and detail. It rewards curiosity and care. It reminds us that value often hides beneath the ordinary. And that discovery belongs to those who look with heart and mind together. So my friends, viewers of World Rare Coin, if this story inspired you, if you felt the thrill of the hunt, the fascination of history, and the magic of possibility, then take a moment now, like this video, share it with others who dream of discovery, and subscribe to our channel, because here, every coin tells a story. Every story reveals a secret, and the next one might be hiding right in your pocket waiting to be found. Stay curious, stay passionate, and never stop searching. Because the world of rare coins is endless, and your next discovery might be worth more than you ever imagined.